welcome to the RINX here in Hauppauge, New York. I'm Jake Basile here alongside Matt Mankiewich. It's a frigid Friday night, and your Stony Brook Seawolves will be taking on the Drexel Dragons for the first time this season. After back-to-back away losses 2 weeks ago against the then third in the nation ranked Liberty, Stony Brook responded with 2 dominant wins over Syracuse right here last week. The Seawolves had won 7 straight prior to their 2 losses in Liberty and look to keep those winning ways going against a struggling division rival. Drexel is ranked 5th in the Eastern Stage Collegiate Hockey League, placing them 1 spot out of a playoff position with a divisional record of 2-5-2. They are, however, coming off a big shootout win against NYU last week, who were undefeated until Stony Brook swept them 3 weeks ago. Drexel and Stony Brook will meet once again tomorrow in Philadelphia.
And the great thing about this is that this is a little bit different from what the Seawolves are used to. They're either 2 away or 2 at home. This is a home and home. This gives you a little bit more of a taste of what it's like in the NHL, where you have a home and home on successive nights. And yes, we've seen it many times when local teams have played the Flyers back and forth, which is essentially what this is. But Drexel out for a little bit of revenge because the Seawolves dominated them last time out. The Seawolves have been doing that to just about everybody except Liberty. And they get a chance to give Liberty a little bit of a payback later on in January. Interesting thing here, because of the fact that this is not an NCAA sport, the teams here, they take breaks for Thanksgiving. The NCAA teams do not, I can tell you that, because, they take a break for Thanksgiving, but, for example, the men's home opener in basketball is on Monday. But they'll take a break for Thanksgiving, and they'll also take a break for the intersession. So once we're done with them in December, we don't see them again till early January.
And this is the last home game of 2021, period. So we won't be seeing these guys back until early January. I believe January 7th is the exact date. But you mentioned that last time out, Stony Brook dominated Syracuse. Drexel. Drexel only lost 4 games last season. 2 of those losses were against Stony Brook. They lost 4-3 at overtime and 6-3 as well. So before that, Drexel managed to win their division, but Stony Brook beat them twice again, 5-2 and 6-1. So it's been all Stony Brook as far as Stony Brook Drexel goes for the last few years.
And it's been all Stony Brook for a lot of teams. Everybody needs to write last year off. First of all, they didn't play last year. The year before, the Seawolves were in a little bit of a rebuilding mode, but they're back to the Seawolves team we're used to seeing. Lots of speed. And one important point that you brought up before we went on air, nobody scores power play goals on them.
They are, in a word, ridiculous on the penalty kill. They are 85 for 89, letting up 4 goals all season on the penalty kill. 95.5%. They are the best in the ACHA, and in their last 49 kills, they've only let up 1 goal. They are an extremely aggressive penalty kill. They went 7 games straight without letting up a power play goal. So it has been a special teams affair for the Stony Brook Seawolves, who are also 26.4% on the power play. So they are a very big special teams team. They went 7 for 10 on the power play last weekend as well. And even against a team like Liberty, where they lost those games in Virginia, they had a perfect penalty kill. So even against those high-octane offense teams, the penalty kill does a fantastic job.
Well, one thing you have to say about Liberty, and we've both seen them play here at the RINX over the past couple of years, they're big. Yes, the Seawolves have a couple of big guys in their team, but that's not their forte. That's not their style. Their style is speed. If you can't bruise with them, and the Seawolves can, and they have, you outskate them. And that's what we'll probably see when Liberty comes back here to the RINX back in January. But right now, they have to deal with this Drexel team that's trying to tread water right now until they can get back in the playoffs. And this is a team that's got a good heritage to it. I mean, they have made the playoffs 4 straight years, according to their website. So they also have 2 teams. They have a Division I team and a Division II team. So they have a fairly big hockey program, despite the fact that it's not an NCAA program.
The biggest problem for Drexel is that this is their first season in the ESCHL. Last season they participated in the ECHA, which is the Eastern Collegiate Hockey Association. They had won 7 ECHA championships, including the 2021. They had 4 ACHA tourney appearances, but they lost in the first round of each. So now they're in the ESCHL, where the competition's a little tougher, and we're not seeing that same Drexel team. I mean, they were 27-2-2 last year, and like we said, 2 of those losses came against the top team in the entire country in Stony Brook.
And there you go. That sets up the rivalry, because the Seawolves were the only blemish on your perfect record, and every time they face the Seawolves, they're thinking, you ruined our party, we're not going to let you ruin it again, and we're also going to ruin your party on your home ice. Like we said, it's going to be a back-to-back, as usual, the typical Friday, Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday weekends here in club hockey. But most importantly, it's going to be a home and home. So we shall see how these 2 teams react to that. You have to travel. I mean, perfect example. We're 7 minutes in already. We have not started. Both teams have gone out for their pregame skate, but we haven't started yet because the Drexel bus got here late. When we pulled in, which was a little bit before 8 o'clock, the bus was just leaving. So I said, uh-oh. This happens a lot. This is one of the reasons why we don't go 15 minutes before the top of the hour on the hockey games, because they almost never start on time, particularly in the wintertime. It reminds me of the old Division III days with the other sports when we had delays where, team bus would get stuck on the LIE.
Yeah.
They wouldn't travel the day before. Well, that's the thing. At this level, they don't travel the day before. In the NCAA teams, they do. So if this were an NCAA game, they would have been here yesterday.
Mm-hmm. And it's the only the second home and home for Stony Brook all season. They took on NYU a few weeks back in the first home and home. They beat them in both games 5-1 at the Sky Rink at Chelsea Piers and 1-0 here at the RINX. It was a 1-0 game. The NYU goalie was remarkable, and the 1 goal was scored in the final 2 minutes of the game by Brendan Pepe on the power play. He's got 7 goals this season. All 7 are on the power play, and 5 of them are game winners.
That is amazing. And you're wondering, I'm sure he gets it in the locker room where people saying, so that's all you're going to do? You're just going to score power play goals? What about 5-on-5? Where are you when we're 5-on-5?
Well, the good thing is that Stony Brook has no shortage of 5-on-5 goals, especially last week where they thumped Syracuse 8-0 and 9-1. But yeah, Brendan Pepe in that bumper spot on the power play has been lights out all season. He's deflecting pucks, he's ripping pucks, he's getting rebounds, but he is the go-to guy on that power play for Stony Brook.
33 goals in 4 games. That's so one-sided. To the best of my knowledge, ACHA does not have a mercy rule. Maybe they should.
Yeah, it really felt against, it was men against boys last week, and even the first weekend when Stony Brook was at Syracuse to kick off the season, it was back-to-back 8-0 wins, which you just don't see. Syracuse was a defeated hockey team. Stony Brook was lighting them up. They were controlling the pace of the game. The shots were heavily in Stony Brook's favor, and Syracuse, unfortunately for them, is sinking more and more to the bottom of this ESCHL division. The only team that's above them is this Drexel team, who actually lost to Syracuse twice, but it was a visiting forfeit. So Drexel and Syracuse, the 2 bottom teams of this division, have not actually met.
Okay, so you really can't count them. I mean, they count in the standings. That's just about it. They turned the lights on full blast. So that's a good sign. So the teams should be coming out onto the ice momentarily. The clock is ticking down to about a minute and change. So we should have the lineup intros very soon here at the RINX in Hauppauge. And we're actually getting some people here tonight. They are holding a food drive, so if you have an extra can or two lying around, bring it with you. And naturally, it is the last game before Thanksgiving, so they want to make sure the food banks in town are replenished. But it's an opportunity to do that, and not only that, watch some good hockey, because that's another thing. If you couldn't get a ticket to UBS Arena, Jake and I are going to be there tomorrow, by the way. Don't mean to brag. But if you can't get a ticket to the Islanders home opener, come on over here.
Yes, it's going to be. I'm very much looking forward to it. It's been a long time in the making, UBS Arena, but it's 2 great nights of hockey in a row. Last week, it was packed here, especially on the Saturday game. The crowd was loud. Lots of high school students and younger you see around here. It's great, the young guys, they get to these games. They love their captain, Brendan Pepe. We had signs last week. He's tossing pucks there, waving to him as he walks off for warm-up. So they love their captain here, and hopefully their captain can score a few more power play goals tonight.
Well, if you're Drexel, don't get into dumb penalties because they will kill you. Now, Drexel, their colors, they kind of remind me of Michigan. Dark blue and yellow, but they don't call it maize and blue there, but they do have stripes. The way the stripes are arranged, they're vertical along the shoulders. And then blue pants, white stockings. So they're in the white, and the Seawolves, interestingly enough, are in the red, which they don't often wear at home.
It's the first week I've seen the Reds at home, and I've been here every week. So, yeah, it's usually the away. It's the opposite of the NHL, where you wear the dark colors at home and the whites away. Here we normally see Stony Brook and the whites with the red trimmings. Now they are wearing the red with the white trimmings facing against Drexel in their whites. As we hear the starting lineups, courtesy of our PA announcer.
Of course, if you can't hear the PA announcer,
you're just like us.
It's anybody's guess.
But you can see, though, it will be Brendan Pepe, Matthew McDermott starting off on defense. Gideon Cooper and Scott Lawson will flank Jesse Edwards for the starting forward group. And Matvei Kazakov makes his return to the net. The goaltender boasting the 1.99 goals against average, a .940 save percentage, and an 8-2-1 record. Matvei Kazakov and Lights Out go hand in hand together this season.
On the Drexel side, on D, you have Nick Urbani and Tyler Black. And up front, you have Nick Castura. Joining him, Eugene Lim and Patrick McGinley III.
So they are starting their top gunners. Nick Urbani there, power play quarterback, their top puck-moving defenseman. He was second on the team in defensive points last season. Eugene Lim is fifth in all-time assists for Drexel. Nick Castor is their leading goal scorer this season. Patrick McGinley had 10 power play goals last season. So this is the offensive starting lineup for Drexel. It's not like Stony Brook, who's starting a very good offensive line, but not their top line of Slevin, Palmiak, and Peck.
Well, hockey starters being what they are, get on the face-off, skate for a minute, and you'll see those guys momentarily.
Through the power of the sky, or the
National anthem has concluded, and we are just about set for puck drop here at the RINX. If you're just joining us, it is your Stony Brook Seawolves taking on the Drexel Dragons here in Hauppauge, New York. Stony Brook is coming off of 2 back-to-back wins against Syracuse. Drexel coming off their 3rd shootout win of their young season against NYU.
I think that's all the wins they have, right?
They have 2 more. One was their first game of the season where they played the U.S. Naval Academy and beat them 7-1. But other than that, their wins have come well past regulation time, and their goaltenders have been very sharp in the shootout. Brian O'Toole starting tonight, but the backup Logan Kramsky has been equally as good in the shootout as well. Stony Brook has been in 1 shootout this season in which they lost, letting up 2 goals to the Liberty Flames. Edwards on the opening dot. He'll be taking on Patrick McGinley, the captain for the Drexel Dragons. And we are underway. Nick Urbani plays it back for Tyler Black. His centering feed deflected. 2-man scrum going for it. It's Castura and McDermott. Now McGinley joins the fray. Lawson comes to pull it away. Castura enters the offensive zone. Chasing this puck down is Lawson. Good tight turn, but he gave it away to McGinley. Backhand shot by Castura. Patted aside by Kazakov along the near wall. This one's floated to Urbani at the line. Blocked into the slot. Here's McGinley right circle, and he floats it over the net right above the shoulders of Matvei Kazakov.
That was close.
A little bit too close. Here's Urbani again. Like we said, a puck transporter. He is a magician with the puck on his stick. Slevin with speed. Good cut in front of his own circle. Plays it out through the neutral zone across the lines. Pomiak, this new first line of Peck, Slevin, and Pomiak. As Pomiak is dumped on his backside by Urbani, who has not taken a seat yet. It has been a 1:10 shift for Urbani as he finally steps off the ice. Think they want him on the ice a lot, Matt?
Oh, yeah.
Here's Pomiak, floats it in, cut off by Burkhan, the freshman defenseman for Drexel, kept in by Malfetto only momentarily. Skating it out is Runk. Across the midline, knocked in by Jarrett Ortiz. Kazakov slows it down, and Malfetto will play it.
A couple of minutes
Far
back,
side for Peck.
when Slevin got tripped, there was a kid in the stands with his hand up going for the penalty.
They usually like those power plays here. The centering feed is tipped aside. Just missed the stick of Zachary Sprung. And too close to call for Matvei Kazakov. He'll take this whistle.
Was a wide open net. Well, first of all, Drexel took the game to him immediately. They figured they'd try to catch Stony Brook flat-footed. For a little while, they did. I mean, just look at the shots. They've got 4 shots on goal already. The Seawolves haven't gotten one off yet.
Just 2 minutes in, that's exactly what Drexel wanted. They have a lot of speedy guys, and they started them all. And here they come again. This one, McGinley, and that one is blockered away by Matvei Kazakov. What a save. Carver at the line. His shot narrowly misses the net. Kendrick will chase this one down.
I'll tell you something. Kazakov's got an hour's worth of work in 3 minutes.
He does. A big save there on Patrick McGinley, and this one is whistled down as O'Toole covers it up in his own ends. First shot for Stony Brook is a roller.
Drexel has taken the Seawolves out of their game in the early going here. And Kazakov has stood up and also caught a couple of breaks, let's be honest.
That backdoor pass was awfully dangerous. Lucky that one jumped the stick. This one pushed in by Malata. Ryan Malata playing his 4th game of the season. Behind the net, played out for Urbani. Urbani on the cut. Dempsey manages to keep it in. Good play by him. Once again, though, Urbani cuts off the Stony Brook pass. Here's McGinley with speed, cuts along the far wall. Offensive zone, out to the blue line for Black. He shimmies in a little bit. Turning away is Eugene Lim. He had it stripped of him. Behind the net by Dempsey. Here's Mancini cutting dangerously into the front of the net. Beautiful outlet pass by Justin Geigel there. Here is Dempsey. Near wall. Cut off by Urbani again. This one pawed out of the zone briefly by Sambuco. Good move by Cooper. He'll walk parallel to the line, eventually get in. Left circle offensive zone behind the net. Out in front, and a great save by O'Toole. What a nice touch pass by Cooper. Left circle, Pepe. He scores! And there's that even strength goal you were looking for, Matt.
And takes the wind out of Drexel's sails. Seawolves find their element, play the puck brilliantly, work the rebound, and they're on the board.
And it was that beautiful rush play by Gideon Cooper, evading two checkers at the line, playing it to the front of the net, and there Pepe was on cleanup duty as always. So the captain strikes first for Stony Brook, just over 3 minutes into the game. Here's Cooper again looking for Lawson for the home run pass, the man who set up the first goal. Behind the net, Edwards battles for it with Brett Coleman. Played out here by Emil Lindvall. Slips it behind McDermott, chased down by Pepe, and that will be an icing.
First one called tonight, but the Seawolves, it took them a couple of minutes to find their game again after Drexel caught them flat-footed. But it seems like they're easing into their element now. And Drexel, that chance went by the boards. Now they got to build another one.
If you're Drexel, the message is we did what we wanted to do. They got a break, but let's keep the speed going, isn't it, Matt?
Absolutely, because they keep the pressure on. A couple of those pucks will go in.
I mean, maybe in a different world, that pass that jumped the stick, a sprung in front of the net, that hits him, but for now, here's Liebold. He's hit at the line by Sprung, played out, neutral zone. Malfetto will steer this one ahead for Dempsey. In a stick battle, pushes it for Liebold. Pushes it ahead for DiStefano, forges it in. Near wall battling for it, pushed out. And here is Jarrett Ortiz, perhaps with a step on Slevin, and Slevin sticks right with him. Well done by him. Jarrett Ortiz battling for it, falls to the ground, so does Slevin. Those two battle along the near corner defensive zone. Played out by Malfetto. Centering feed off the stick and into the blade of Nick Urbani. Slevin hassling him. Urbani pushes it away, though. And Urbani will retrieve. Draw two Stony Brook forecheckers in and play it around the net for Kyle Fiore. Urbani again. Fiore. Drexel having a tough time escaping their own zone. They do. Neutral zone feed to Ortiz. Nice move around Marachik, but he can't get around Pomiak, who drops his shoulder right into his chest, getting the puck to Mancini. And here is Slevin.
That's where the speed comes into play.
Pomiak with a shot, and that one gloved right above the D on the chest of Brian O'Toole.
It almost looked like he had a breakaway on the other end, and 4 Seawolves defenders got there faster than he could. That tells you everything you need to know right there.
It was that initial nice move by Ortiz, but the layer Stony Brook has, it's why they let up so few goals. There's so much support. McEwen pokes this one along behind the net. Zarilli still looking for his first ACHA goal. He's got a pair of assists on the season, but he has been part of this shutdown line, though, and they have been very good defensively with De Palma and Kendrick. McEwen tries to find a friendly stick, only finds De Palma. Zarilli centering feed. Kendrick! Oh, a good stick save by Brian O'Toole. Great centering feed by Kyle De Palma. Zarilli, great stick lift. Tried to play it between the legs of DiCarlo there for Kendrick, who would have been one-on-one with the goalie, but Kendrick didn't see it. From the line, Mancini shot. That one blocked by his own man in front. Out to Marachik. D to D Mancini. Backdoor pass Kendrick. And a pad stop by O'Toole. Shoved right back in front by Zarilli. Cleared down the length of the ice. This one will go on net, so we will not have an icing here. Played by Marachik.
The first 5 shots of the game were taken by Drexel. And now the edge has gotten a lot smaller. As a matter of fact, Stony Brook has surpassed them. 8-6. Which means
8 of the last 9 as Thomas Liebold just buried Ben Burkhan. Matvei Kazakov coming out to play this one. He had a few Drexel Dragons swarming him. Shot by Burkhan at the line. That one once again over his shoulder. Behind the net, Marachik. Stutter step. Dangerously in front. forces Thomas Liebold to cut back. Another dangerous pass there through the middle, and we have a Stony Brook power play incoming. As this one's played by Lim, and we will get the whistle.
Boarding.
Looks like a board. It is a board on the Drexel captain, Patrick McGinley, who does play the penalty kill for Drexel. So it is a lethal Stony Brook power play that went 7 for 10 last week against Syracuse, and now looks to strike again. And guess who's out there? Brendan Pepe, searching for his 8th power play goal of the season, and will now be the 9th power play goal, or 9th goal of the year for Pepe. And he'll start it off with a shot that is off the pads and out of play. Saved by Brian O'Toole.
Got some English on it because that puck went off the pad, up and over the glass.
Pepe puts a lot of zip on that puck, as we saw with that first goal that went right over the glove of Brian O'Toole, and he has that puck again. Drops it off for Mancini at the line, right circle for Peck. Back to Mancini, they play catch again. Slevin, the one-timer, blocked by Nathan Runk. Behind the net, Captain Pepe, far wall. Slevin, point. Bumper spot for Pepe, and there he was again. That time shut down by Brian O'Toole, but that is the play for Stony Brook on the power play.
And that's one of the reasons why they've been near perfect on it. On the kill anyway, but one more try for the Seawolves here. Actually, you still have minute 12 on it. They have a few more opportunities.
And here is Mancini. Again, the pass in the middle to Pepe. He fights for it. Cooper had it swiped away by John McEwen. Great defensive play. And Chris DiCarlo with an extra effort to shove this one out of the zone. Muscling it away from Brendan Pepe, who has been out there the entire power play so far. A minute and 10 seconds.
They want him to get that goal.
Slevin carves his way into the zone, shot right into the breadbasket of O'Toole, and that one dribbled down between the legs of him, but it is handled nonetheless. Good start to the power play for Stony Brook here, Matt.
What's that?
Good start to the power play here.
I think so. They're keeping the pressure on. As long as they do that, the percentages will continue to favor them.
Here's DiStefano at the point, fakes the slap shot, in for Pomiak. He sends a cross-ice feed to no one in particular, hoping it would find a friendly stick. It did not. But we have 3 Seawolves battling for it. They win the battle, and it leaks out for DiStefano. Pomiak far side, top of the circle. Over for Malfetto, the one-timer stopped. Pad stopped by O'Toole and cleared down by Ben Burkhan. 4 seconds left on the power play, so that will do it. But the best chance on the power play there came by Dom Malfetto.
But no second chances, which is what Drexel was able to do to establish the kill.
Alert play by Burkhan to get his stick on that before any of the number of Seawolves that were around there. As Mulata's shot is blocked from the point. That's Brett Coleman. Lawson goes shoulder to shoulder with Burkhan, and he takes him down. McGinley comes over to say hello, and this will be an interference penalty
immovable objects
on Lawson. And Lawson is a big boy, and he gives a little wave to Burkhan as he heads into the box.
I don't see that because Lawson was just standing there, and the guy bounced off him.
The puck was at their feet, but we do see that called often. If nobody establishes possession of the puck, it is often called an interference. But, Scott Lawson is a 6'1", 235-pound guy, so, there's not too much leeway there. He runs into you, you're going to feel it.
He's a tree. He was planted firmly there, and you hit him, you bounce off.
And Ben Burkhan, the guy he clobbered, 5'6", 161, so not exactly an equal weight competition there. But the Stony Brook penalty kill is on for now, and they have been on all season. 85 for 89. 1 power play goal out in their last 49 kills, operating at above 95%, the best in the ACHA. And we see right there, Pepe applies the pressure, and Dempsey cleans it up for the clear. 1:27 remaining in the first power play for Drexel. Eugene Lim.
And they're everywhere except where they should be in the Stony Brook zone. They're skating around neutral zone aimlessly.
That one blocked by Dempsey as we have a spill in the defensive zone. That was Zerilli landing on top of O'Toole. Both seem to be okay and skating just fine. Sambuco curls this one back for Urbani. Urbani waits for a better option. Near side. Back to Urbani. Across for Nick Castora. Castora down behind the net. This one stripped away. Pepe just took it right off the stick of Jared Ortiz and sent it down.
They can't settle in. Stony Brook won't let them.
And they rarely ever do. A very aggressive penalty kill. And right there, Edwards cutting off Anton Kazitsky through the neutral zone and cleared down by DiStefano. Just half a minute left in the Drexel power play, and they've spent very little of it in the Stony Brook zone. That one poke checked at the line by DiStefano. And this one will be chased in by Drexel, but Malfetto with time and space. He'll use all of it, but not get it out, though. Pomiak's second effort does, and Burkon will be forced to play it back as Edward levels him.
They didn't just kill that penalty, they murdered it.
Absolutely. And it's been
Drexel
like that all
had no
season.
chance.
And Lawson back on the ice, eyeing down his prey in Burkon, the man he went shoulder to shoulder with before. McEwen can't chase down this one. It'll be icing as Mulata got there first.
I'm impressed. I mean, look, I've seen them do this before. We both have. But every time they do it, it definitely makes you think about what these guys can do and why their penalty kill is so good. They don't let the opposing team settle in at all. They can't get anything going at the blue line, and they're breaking everything up every time the puck comes anywhere near them.
They are the most potent penalty kill in the ACHA, and that was a great display of why. Peck behind the net, out for Mulata. Right into the chest of
nice
Brian
opportunity
O'Toole.
there.
It would have been Mulata's first had he cashed in on that top of the right circle. But he has played the last several games for Stony Brook, filling in for a banged-up blue line for the Stony Brook Seawolves. Urbani curls this one. It comes to Slevin. Castora battles for it, manages to get it out. Chased down, but another icing incoming for Drexel. And we will take this again in the offensive zone for Stony Brook. So it's the second icing in a row for Drexel. And that kind of tells you how this game has gone since the first minutes of the game.
Well, they're kind of lucky, Drexel is, that the game is still only 1-0. 7:23 left in the period, so they've managed to hold the Seawolves off. They're being outshot 14-7 now, and they took the first 5 shots of the period, so it's actually 14-2.
Behind the net, Castora and Mancini get into it. Cut off by McGinley. Shot by Urbani. Rebound. Castora pushed out in front. Cleaned up by Pomiak. He's fighting for it, and he gets it out with some help from Chucky Peck. And now these two have a break. Peck in. His shot. Blocker save by Brian O'Toole. Lim plays it up for Castora. Kazakov slows it down. Behind the net. Dangerously off the side of the net. Drexel will recover, though. Castora has it. Cuts back. Out in front. Brendan Pepe goes down to block it, uses his hands to throw it to the side, and it'll be a hand pass for Stony Brook. No penalty incoming. Looks like he pushed it, didn't grab it.
I'll tell you something. On the other end, I mean, it's obvious why Urbani is their best player, because he basically broke up a 2-on-1 single-handedly. So, like I said, there are reasons why it's still only 1-0, and that's one of them.
And Castora, his second effort play to keep it in the offensive zone there and lead to that chance for Drexel. That top line will be a problem for Stony Brook. They are speedy and they are dangerous.
But there's only one of them.
That is very true. Sean Carver plays it up the wall. Cut off by Zerilli. Then Carver lays into him. Zerilli fighting through a check and gets hammered by, that was Ian Hoover there. Zerilli will turn this back around. Kendrick lost it for a moment, and he gets clobbered by Ian Hoover, the second victim of Ian Hoover in this shift.
He towers over everybody. Hoover's the biggest guy on the ice right now.
Here's De Palma, hit shot, scores! Pepe to De Palma, and it's 2-0 Seawolves.
I was about to say, the only other guy that matches him on the ice is Pepe, and he was right there, and he got on that puck.
For Kyle De Palma, that is his third goal this season. It is his third career ACHA goal. He had 0 points last season for Stony Brook. He's got 3 goals, 2 assists now, and he has been a two-way force for the Stony Brook Seawolves. He is a key piece on that penalty kill, and he's been getting rewarded lately with some well-deserved goals. Last week he had another one against Syracuse, and it's good to see those guys score. Turnover out in front by Pepe, and Runk almost cashed in on a brilliant check written by Brendan Pepe, but Kazakov saved him there.
Kazakov was looking up at him and said, "What are you doing?"
Hey, he's just making sure Kazakov stays fresh. That's the first shot Kazi has faced in a while. Geigel looking for the home run pass to Liebold, cut off by Burkon. Liebold gets it right back. Behind the net, his pass, centering feed is broken up by Kyle Fiore. Only 5'4" is Kyle Fiore. Played out to the point for Malfetto, tipped in! That was Pomiak, it looks like, who was in front of the net. No, excuse me, Connor Dempsey on the deflection. And it's 3-0 Seawolves.
I was saying it through most of the period. Drexel's very lucky it's still 1-0. Well, somebody must have heard me down on the ice.
Stony Brook starting to run away with this one. The shots are 17-9 right now. But Connor Dempsey, that is his second goal of the season. His first one was a deflection as well over the weekend against Liberty. It's his third season with Stony Brook. 6 points in 18 games in the last full season they played. And here's a 2-on-1 for Drexel. McEwen cutting to the net, but the floating shot by Zachary Sprung is saved by Kazakov. D-to-D. Tyler Black with the shot. And its block never got through. Cooper was down, slow to get up. So that exit pass didn't get to him. Floated in. McEwen's going to go for a slash here as he came down on the stick of Robert DiStefano, who's now getting into it with both Chris DiCarlo and Zachary Sprung.
It's only the first period, and they're starting to get a little frustrated.
Yep. That looked like a clear anger penalty coming over the top, just wanting to get that puck at any cost. Not a great spot to do it in as the referee was watching, and now the Stony Brook power play is back in action.
They were warned, don't take dumb penalties against a team with the power play like Stony Brook's.
Do not poke the Seawolf is the phrase I believe is used. It'll start off with their top unit of Slevin, Cooper, and Peck, with Mancini and Pepe manning the blue line. Mancini will start with it. Bumper pass for Pepe. Scooped along for Slevin. Out to the point. Peck, one-timer off the bar from the right circle. Blue line for Mancini. Left circle, Slevin. One-timer tipped. That one tipped wide, though. Urbani fighting for it. Gets it to Tyler Black, who forges it on ahead for Emma Lindvall, and down the ice it'll go. Stony Brook forced to regroup. They will keep the same 5 out there, though. Cooper caught flat-footed. Played back for Mancini by Slevin in his own end. Mancini takes it behind the net. He's under pressure. Takes down a man. That was Eugene Limford checking him. And here comes Peck with speed over the line. Pepe tried to get it back to Peck. Cleaned up by Tyler Black. Great defensive play by him. He'll skate it out. Carey tries to make a move past Mancini. He does! Oh, and a great shoulder save by Matvey Kazakov. What a shorthanded chance by Tyler Black. Back the other way. This one in the crease. The backdoor pass for Edwards couldn't go. Slevin at the blue line. Dropped off for Mancini. Mancini back to Slevin. And we have a whistle here. Not sure what that one was for. Perhaps the net was off. It looks like the linesman is going over to check now. Looks like there's a little bit of deliberation on where this face-off will go.
Well, Slevin's going in the penalty box.
Oh. Slevin to the box.
I didn't see a signal. What was it for?
Didn't see a signal either. It seemed like a delayed whistle as well, but we will skate 4-on-4 for the next 31 seconds before Drexel will go to an abridged power play.
It isn't even up on the scoreboard yet.
But Slevin is in the box, and he had a penalty-filled weekend against Liberty. He had 6 penalty minutes in the second game and 4 penalty minutes in the first game against Liberty. So 10 penalty minutes over the weekend for him. Didn't take any last week, but he's back in the box here. So 24 seconds of 4-on-4 here. Smack down the ice. Hunter Dempsey, the latest goal scorer for the Stony Brook Seawolves, had his stick lifted by Brett Coleman. Over to McGinley. Looks to shake free of McDermott. Not an easy thing to do. Can't do it. Breakout pass up the middle for De Palma. He just goes one-on-one with Burkon. Burkon takes him off the puck. And this one flung in by Coleman. Behind the net, Stefano up the middle. Tipped narrowly out of the zone by De Palma. And Anton Kazitsky took down De Palma, which would have stopped a clean breakaway for Kyle De Palma. McDermott all the way out of the zone. Behind the D was Palmiak. He'll touch this one despite the high stick from Zerilli. So we have a whistle here. 1:01 to go in the Drexel power play. It is their their second power play of the game. I guess I made that mistake because the first one didn't look too much like a power play for Drexel, as the Seawolves were all over that penalty kill.
They could never get set up in Stony Brook zone at all. Now they got a 1-on-1 to do something.
For Drexel here, McEwen, Ortiz, and Kazitsky with Black and Urbani. So the top D with the second line, if you will, for the power play. Out to the point for Urbani, the quarterback. Behind the net that was McEwen, who couldn't bury it on the backhand. And that is an errant pass. Comes out of the zone. And for Drexel, those errant passes are costly because it is not easy to enter the zone on a Stony Brook penalty kill. Urbani does, though. Plays it across the line for Black. Black near side. Puts the wheels on behind the net for Ortiz. Over on the far wall for Kazitsky. Kazitsky gets it back one time where he flubbed the shot. Ortiz battling with Pepe. Ortiz wins the battle. Messes up on the pass there to Urbani. Manages to recover it. Cuts in. Bumper pass. Great save. Gloved off by Matvey Kazakov on the shot by McEwen. Out to the point. That one back into the glove as Urbani floats one on. Kazakov looking sharp.
So we're down to 49 seconds in the period. 3-0 Stony Brook, and teams are back to even strength, but still, Drexel trying to challenge here. They've actually narrowed the gap a little bit on shots. Now it's 18-12. Trying to pick up the pace here in the closing seconds of the period.
It was 17-9, so that power play did give a little bit of life to Drexel, but they have a mighty high hill to climb, going down 3-0 this early. Face-off coming in the D zone. for the Stony Brook Seawolves. It'll be Dempsey, Geigel, and Liebold as the forward unit. Geigel has switched up and down between forward and D. Last week versus Syracuse played D, but he has seen quite a few games at forward this season. Good to have one of those Swiss Army knife players where you can put him wherever you want, and they will do a good job. Behind the net for Tyler Black. His exit feed is cut off nicely by Dempsey. But Lim, using those wheels, will skate it out. Here's Castura. Castura in, centering feed. Castura over for Urbani. Urbani at the line, plays it for Castura. His shot swept aside, didn't get to Kazakov, cleaned up by Dempsey. That shot blocked by Geigel from the line. Castura can't get this one deep. Liebold gets it out. It will not have enough on the icing. Doesn't matter anyway, as this period is over. It was all Stony Brook Seawolves. 3-0. Goals from Pepe, De Palma, and Dempsey. Pepe with 2 points, scoring his first even strength goal of the season, which you set up perfectly, Matt. This was 7 power play goals preceded it, and now his first even strength.
Well, I'll tell you this. Save for the first 3 minutes of the period, Drexel really couldn't find anything. They were able to take the Seawolves out of their game for that short period of time, got the first 5 shots off, then the Seawolves woke up, and it was all Seawolves from there.
Well, the interesting thing is that Drexel is similar to Stony Brook in that they are not a size-strength team. They are a speed team, and we see teams that Stony Brook struggles with. You know, we covered the 2 Davenport games. We saw in that first game they had a real hard time with the size of the Great Lakes region Davenport team. They managed to adapt and beat them in game 2. In the games against Adrian College, another big team, Stony Brook managed to win those games, but Adrian gave them a real hard time, out-hitting them and out-shooting them in both games. Liberty, another physical team, Stony Brook lost both of those games there. So Drexel, who came out with speed, it can be tough to play a speed game with the Stony Brook Seawolves.
Well, it's nearly impossible. Liberty did it with size. Okay. They were able to slow the Seawolves down by getting in their way. But even when you have size, you still have to have some kind of agility, because otherwise they'll just skate rings around you. And the Seawolves managed to do that here in the first period. I really can't find too much fault with the Seawolves game in the first period except for those first 3 minutes. The first 3 minutes, it was like they hadn't woken up yet. It's like they were the ones whose bus was late.
Well, we saw that as well in that Davenport game we were talking about. The first game they played, they lost it 4-2. And they were coming off those 2 blowout wins against Syracuse. So it took them an adjustment period against Davenport, who is a bigger, tougher team than this Drexel team. Luckily for the Seawolves, it only took them a few minutes to adjust against Drexel here before they blew the score wide open early. As I'm looking at that scoreboard, and it's 3-0, and it was all Seawolves. Kyle De Palma, Pepe scoring his first even strength goal of the season. There he is with the puck there. Fires in a wrist shot, which is handled by O'Toole. Here comes Edwards as Black falls down, back for Cooper, and he had to corral it in his skates. But Tyler Black blew a tire. It was a 2-on-1 gifted to the Seawolves, and the pass was just inside on Gideon Cooper.
I'll tell you what, though, Cooper had to back off only because O'Toole was sliding over. He was trying to get a little bit of a deke on him and wasn't able to do it. But they dodged a bullet there, and O'Toole came up with a big save.
Cooper has been
Drexel dodged a bullet.
Very good presence here for the Stony Brook Seawolves. It's his first year here. He's got 2 goals, 8 assists on the season. He's been a fantastic playmaker. Came here from Albertus Magnus College, originally from London, England. So he is the only person born in England on this Stony Brook Swivel, Steve. I'm sure that's a shocker to
the only
everybody.
person born in England in the ACHA.
Here is McDermott, plays it back for Pepe in his own end. Outlet pass, jumps the stick of Scott Lawson. Right circle in his own end is Pepe, dropped off for McDermott. McDermott forced to curl back. Playing catch with Pepe. Hard pass for Lawson over the line. Lawson scores! The wrist shot from the right circle simply beats O'Toole, and Lawson keeps his hot streak going.
Nothing you can do about that. Lawson beat him one-on-one.
Walked right in off that breakout pass from Brendan Pepe. That'll be Brendan Pepe's third point of the night. And it was a ripper by Scott Lawson.
Makes it 4-0.
Third goal of the season, also from Albertus Magnus College, just like Gideon Cooper, who we just talked about. He is a combination of size and skill, as you can see right there. Here's Peck, who walks in and a blocker save by O'Toole.
First, we've really talked about him all night long.
Lawson really came into the lineup due to some injuries, and he has made the most of his spot since. Scored his first goal of the season in Adrian, and ever since, he has been very good for the Seawolves. Scored one last weekend against Syracuse. He had 27 goals, and there's one for Drexel. Tapped in on the doorstep by Eugene Lim.
Again, caught Kazakov on the other end of the net, and he left it wide open, and Drexel was able to finish. They're on the board, 4-1.
And that was Eugene Lim, who we mentioned during the intermission. 5th all-time in assists for the Drexel Dragons. He was 3rd on the team last year in points. That's just his 7th point of the season, his 2nd goal. But it's a big one for Drexel if they want to have life in this game. It's Lim's 4th year with Drexel. He had 48 points his rookie year, and here comes Castura cutting in. He's taken down by Malata, and Castura takes a grab of Malata's stick, but no harm, no foul here as we play on.
Though he wrapped him up pretty good, though he might get called for a penalty on that.
Looked like
but I'll tell you something.
As well.
There was one other chance Drexel had back in the first period, very similar to that one, but the puck skipped over a stick. This time they were able to finish. Get a couple more like that, it's a game.
And Eugene Lim is not making a mistake on that. That one was right at the top of the blue paint, a gaping cage for him, and he just had to tap it right home. Face-off coming in the defensive zone for the Seawolves. It'll be Zarilli winning it against Ortiz. Mancini plays it out for De Palma. Mancini cuts through the defense and nudges a puck on net for the cover.
Seawolves trying to establish their game again, trying to establish the speed, trying to outskate Drexel. And maybe a little bit of egg on their face after that goal, because that was a lapse on Seawolves' part.
And not one they tend to allow. If you're going to score against the Seawolves, they want you to earn it. They don't want those tap-ins where they leave you alone in front, very away from the Seawolves' character. But what is the Seawolves' character is getting those defense activated into the rush, and we just saw that with Mancini. DiCarlo hassled, forced him to give up the puck to Mancini, and here he comes. Over the line, left circle behind the net, with speed, curls around, all the way through, across for Liebold. Liebold shot backdoor for Dempsey. Can't get a handle on it. Geigel plays it into some open space. The Drexel Dragons collapse on it. It's DiCarlo. Played in deep. Ortiz and Mancini chasing it down. Ortiz gets there first. Loses the one-on-one battle, though. Played up the wall for Geigel. Great touch pass, and here's a 2-on-1. It's Malata with Liebold. Malata into the pads, and Liebold is buried by DiCarlo in front of the net, and DiCarlo's going to go.
Yep.
Not sure what they're calling that.
You know what, though? I'll take it if I'm on Drexel's side, because that's what you have to do to make sure you don't get burned. I mean, that's what Stony Brook should have done on the other end on that Drexel goal.
And you have Liebold on top of your goalie, bearing down, chipping at any chance at a loose puck. It's one of those character penalties that the guys don't mind killing off. You bury a guy who's digging at your goalie, it's one that the team understands. Not like that frustration penalty we saw earlier with McEwen slash.
Exactly.
Stony Brook on the kill here. And this one cleared up the wall, hit the glass and out of play. So no additional penalty coming for Drexel. Face-off between Slevin and Lindvall. Won by Slevin with some help from Cooper. Pepe drops it off for Mancini at the line. Shot by Mancini. That one sails wide.
Well screened.
At the line for Mancini again. Playing catch with Slevin. Slevin dusted off. Pass to Mancini across. One-timer. Broken up. He's in a foot race with Lindvall. Coming over is Matvei Kazakov to nullify that.
That was
close. Plays
close.
it for Mancini. Over for Pepe. Passes into the skates of Urbani. Tries to turn back and curl it. Urbani sticks right with him. Swiping at it is Urbani. Getting a stick on that one is RINX. Seawolves keep it alive though. Slevin, left circle, curls back to the wall. Out to the point for Mancini. Mancini over for Peck. Passes a little in on him. Back to Mancini. That shot's blocked by Lindvall. Mancini picks it right back up and shovels a little chip shot into the glove of O'Toole.
Nice try. I mean, it was there. 57 seconds left on the power play, and you're right about Drexel. They don't seem to be too phased about killing this penalty off because it may pay off later. Because someone from Stony Brook will be less likely to hang out in front of the net lest they get clobbered.
Very true. That was a big hit by DiCarlo. Here is Palmiak at the left circle out to the point for DiStefano. Pump fake one-timer by Palmiak. Didn't get a ton on that as he checks the stick if it's broken, as that one never left the ice. 15:25 to go in the second frame. Shots are 25-16 in favor of the Stony Brook Seawolves. Stony Brook has maintained a good gap in shots outside of those first 5 minutes, but Drexel keeps it within range, unlike what we saw last week with Syracuse. Off the draw, here's DiStefano, walks right in. Shot clipped off the stick of Ortiz. Here's Malfetto, walks in, slap shot, that one didn't get through. DiStefano has some trouble with it, and it's forced down the ice by Ortiz. Kazakov takes it, plays it for Malfetto. Malfetto slows things down behind his own net. DiStefano will take over play. Slowly from his own end, over to Malfetto. DiStefano up the middle, left side, Malfetto over the line. Pushes it a little bit deeper, but cleared out again by Drexel. And that'll do it for the Stony Brook power play. Behind the net, Palmiak takes the high stick, no call coming. Into the middle, Castura played it there. Defended by the Seawolves. Here comes Edwards. He's got a lot of speed. Gas in his tank, cuts to the outside, floats it onto the outside of the net. Lawson picks it up. He's taken down. Two guys go down. That's DiCarlo. Malfetto with a good stick in the neutral zone. And behind the play, DiCarlo is down. Back into the offensive zone come the Seawolves. Left circle, left wall. It's played by Malfetto. Swings it around the boards for an incoming Kendrick. Kendrick floats it in deep. Had DiStefano at the point. Behind the net, Zerilli taking off the puck. Kendrick retrieves it though. Kendrick across the crease, that one went. No friendly sticks home for the Seawolves. Seawolves applying a ton of pressure here. Here's McDermott. That one floated wide. Kyle DePalma recovers. Out to the point for Pepe. Across, right circle, McDermott. Loads the cannon. Pad stop by O'Toole. Shovel pass. That one tipped off the post by Kendrick. Would have been Pepe's 4th point of the night. A nasty deflection by Kendrick, though, right in front, off the post, and across the goal line.
I'll tell you, again, Drexel weathering the storm very well. The problem is that they have to get out of it and start generating some offense of their own, which they have not been able to do really after that first goal. But there seems to be more of a spring in their step. They seem to be less frustrated. The goal, kind of, I guess, sent a message that, yes, they could compete in this game and score a couple more like that, and they're right back in it. But they can't do it when they're constantly keeping the Seawolves out of their own zone. They have to get something going here.
And it looks like they just took a timeout, perhaps to get their heads back on it. They just spent quite a lot of time in their own end. And like you said, it's very hard to mount a comeback when the Seawolves are applying the amount of pressure they just did. Nearly scoring their 5th goal of the game. That was a great look by Pepe, keeping that shot low for Kendrick to tip. Defensive draw is lost by the Seawolves, played by Kozitzki. He's got a lot of wheels. He tries to skate right around Pepe, but the bigger Pepe sticks with him. Kozitzki comes away with it for a moment. Pepe plays it between the skates of Kozitzki. Floated to McDermott, who turns it over. Lindvall plays it to Kozitzki. Kozitzki with a backhand shot blocked by Pepe. Pepe off the wall, just out of his reach. The self-pass coming back in. McDermott takes a big hit there. Manages to forge it out. Here's Thomas Liebold left side over the midline. Plays it into the skates of Ian Hoover. Carver up the wall. Geigel the blast. Blocked by Emil Lindvall. Carver plays it out, plays the angle, and this one will not be enough. And we will get an icing here. 12:28 to go in the second.
And the Seawolves keeping the pressure on, not necessarily looking for, well, they are looking for results on the scoreboard. They lead it 4-1. They'd love to extend it. But as long as they're keeping the pressure on Drexel, they can do this all day long.
They'll take those icings. They'll take those turnovers. There's Pepe as his shot whistles just wide from the right circle. We've seen him beat goalies from no angle before. Palmiak pressuring that one, forces the turnover by Hoover. Down behind the net, give and go there, misses the stick of Pepe. Behind the net, here's Palmiak, chips it into the skates of Slevin. He plays it well. Lost it to Lindvall, hassling Lindvall as Slevin, out to the point for Mancini. Slevin recovers again.
Nice stick handling there by Slevin.
Peck, far wall as he gets hammered off the puck by Lindvall, who then runs into Palmiak. Mancini at the line, tipped by Peck. And Hoover and Palmiak are getting into it. And Hoover is a big boy. Just a wrestling match for now.
No punches thrown. No sticks in anybody's teeth. I
Certainly
mean,
a size mismatch for
college
Palmiak,
hockey
though.
players have full face covering anyway, but still.
Nobody likes to take a punch.
But, again, Drexel protecting the house. You hang out near the goal, you'll pay the price.
And both men are going to go. Looks like perhaps, no, it'll be both. Just waiting for that scoreboard to update. So it'll be 4-on-4 here. They only had the Drexel penalty for a moment, but now they have Palmiak up there too. So it'll be those two off for a rough. Offsetting minors. Stony Brook wins the draw. They set this one up as if they have a power play. Malfetto's shot tipped by Slevin into the glove of O'Toole.
Nicely set up.
Just like a power play. Got it to the point. Set up along the wall. Had Slevin in front.
But that's the thing. They're at even strength. They're playing it like a power play.
Coleman and Peck behind the net. floats out for Slevin, who puts the shot on. Out for Runk. Plays it off the wall to himself. Nice self-pass. Could he have a step on Malfetto? Pushes it into the crease. That one finds no friendly stick. Malfetto under pressure by Runk. Fends his stick off nicely. Great exit there by Malfetto. Gets the pass to Slevin, who tips it in across the line just enough to get a single personnel change as Edwards will come on, replacing Slevin. Slap shot from Burkon, easily handled. Comes right back out for Ortiz, and his shot is gloved down by Kazakov. 1:05 left in the offsetting minors.
That's the first shot Kazakov has seen in, I guess, 7 or 8 minutes. It's been a while, but he's used to that. With all the action going on the other end of the ice, he doesn't have a hell of a lot to do, but he still has to stay alert.
And that he always does. All reliable back there for the Stony Brook Seawolves. Played off the wall. Cooper has a jump on it. He'll get there first. Played off the wall to McDermott. McDermott over to Cooper. Cooper narrowly walks the line, keeps it in. He'll walk in to the backhand. Oh, and a pad stop by O'Toole. What a move by Cooper. Back the other way. Sambuco in alone. And that one never found its way. McDermott got a stick on it last second. That one stopped out in front by Kazakov. Sambuco again. Ortiz's shot padded aside. Kazakov under heavy fire here, and he's handling it well. McDermott off the wall, played to himself. Under pressure here, McDermott alleviates it nicely. 15 seconds to go in the 4-on-4. Kazakov had to be alert there.
3 big shots. 3 big shots.
How often do we see that? A chance at one end, not cashed in on, and then a chance right at the other. Lucky for the Seawolves.
I've seen guys do
lost
that.
The handle on that one.
They're in the Hall of Fame.
Here is Kendrick over the line, left side. Mancini's one. Timer came from a long ways out. Easily contested there by O'Toole.
Many years ago, I saw Marty do that to Lemieux and Yager when they were still playing together. That's how long ago it was.
Sambuco had that breakaway chance. He played for Malvern Prep in the U.S. high school prep system. He won the Flyers Cup, which is the Central Pennsylvania Region High School Championship there. It's the same championship his father had won nearly 30 years prior in 92 and 93. So championship pedigree in the Sambuco blood. Couldn't cash in on that one there.
Like I keep telling people, great action. I mean, you come here to the rinks to watch the Seawolves, and you're going to see some good hockey.
The fans no doubt satisfied with the 4 goals the Stony Brook Seawolves have put on so far. Mancini lost the handle on that one. Lynn hunts it down. Can't get it, though. Fighting with Mancini for it. Mancini wins a battle with 2 Drexel Dragons as Kuhl came in to support that one. Kuhl behind the net. Played up the wall. He lost it, though, to Kendrick. Kendrick. Oh, his pass into the skates of Zarilli. Lim off the wall. Picked between the legs by McGinley, but he nudged it too far in front of him. Pastura on the forecheck, giving Malata a tough time. Kyle DePalma protects this one. He had 2 Dragons to contend with that shot from the line, easily handled by Kazakov. Here's Mancini. How many times have we seen him just take the puck and skate it out? Mancini behind the Drexel net, curls out in front. His shot floats across the crease. No danger.
Not afraid
there.
to go end to end.
Not at all. Very much like Nick Urbani on this Drexel team. Carver calls it back for Kuhl. Malata steered it in front for Kendrick. Over the line, here's Geigel charging in. Middle for Kendrick. His shot is weakened by the stick of Kuhl. Covered, and we'll have an offensive zone draw for the Seawolves.
Had an opportunity there. Couldn't get a really strong shot off, though. 31-23 right now, the shot. And we're only in the second period. We got 7:45 left with the Seawolves 4-1 lead.
Another power play for the Seawolves, and they could really start peppering it on. Behind the net, McEwen and Liebold come together. Liebold punishes him. DiCarlo floats it out. Knocked down by the hand of Geigel in the neutral zone. Drexel having a tough time managing that puck. This one, a sliding keep-in by Di Stefano, is just a step late. And we are whistled down for offside here. 7:26
That's the first
in the
one
second.
They've whistled all night.
We have not seen an offside, yeah.
Yeah.
Seen plenty of icings, though. And that stat is one-sided if we would be keeping track of that. Ortiz and Dempsey on the draw. Another stat we're not keeping track of, but based on eye test alone, Stony Brook has done very well in the face-off department. Liebold at his own line.
It's one of the reasons why time of possession with the puck heavily favors the Seawolves.
And a hit by Burkon. He stuck his leg out, and they're going to call it a trip. Pepe seems to be okay. He tried to cut on the outside of Burkon. Burkon looking for the hip check at the line. It did seem like he stuck his leg out to me. Could have gone either way. But we see those called often here. And Dempsey with the slash behind the play. And he's going to go for that one. They saw it.
Everybody
took out
saw
the legs of Brett Coleman. Everybody saw it. And that's how you take away a power play for your team, though.
That's a slap shot.
We'll see where this face-off goes, but it'll be a trip on Burkon and either a slash or an unsportsmanlike on Dempsey. We'll see where the draw ends up. But nonetheless, we will skate 4-on-4 for 2 minutes. It would have been a Stony Brook power play as this faceoff comes just outside the offensive zone. Won by the Drexel Dragons. Back to Tyler Black. Played off the wall to Runk. He has a tough time with it as Mancini came hammering down the wall. Tyler Black curls back with it. Turned it over to Pepe. Slevin played for Peck. Peck hassled by two Drexel Dragons. That's Black and Runk. Behind the net, Urbani will take over. Played off the wall, turned over again. Slevin tries to push it to the front for Peck. The puck wouldn't behave for him. Slevin down the wall for Peck. Peck through the middle, dangerous pass, finds the stick of Mancini, but he couldn't corral it completely. Here's Peck over for Slevin across the line. Slevin stops and starts, tries to go through. Tyler Black shovels a backhand shot on, that stopped.
I'll tell you something. Slevin made a very nice recovery there. Tried to finesse through two defenders, loses control of the puck, gets it back, and then tries backhands it on net. Of course, O'Toole saw it all the way, but still, way to stay with the puck.
And we have to keep our eye on Slevin tonight. One more assist, and he moves into fourth all-time since Stony Brook has reached the D1 program. He's at 76 right now in a three-way tie for fifth. One more assist for Joseph Slevin, and that'll put him in fourth all-time for assists. Edwards behind the net, comes out in front, looking for the centering feed to Di Stefano, who had pinched down. Didn't get there. McKinley takes a whack at Malfetto. Out to the line. That shot over the net by Castura. Di Stefano takes a hit at Carver. Causes a turnover here. Potential 2-on-1 developing. Coover over the line. Great feed for Di Stefano. Tried to shove it 5-hole, but O'Toole closed the door. What a feed by Gideon Cooper. And here comes back Drexel the other way, but they miss on the pass. Castura strips Edwards of the puck, but he forgot it as he started skating ahead. Edwards had it stripped of him by McGinley. Di Stefano in his own end plays it up for Edwards. Edwards tries to get the feet moving here, plays into a flat-footed Cooper over the line, stops and starts, tries to float a pass, snuffed out by Eugene Lim. Mulata coming pinching down with it. Good move by Eugene Lim, and he will trip up Mulata as a result. And that was a good shift for Eugene Lim.
He drew the trip, basically made the Seawolves chase him around all over the place. Yeah.
Little pep in his step after scoring that goal. Always makes you feel a little bit more confident. He made that move in his own end. Maybe not something he does unless he scored that goal. Started smelling the blood a little bit, knowing that they could have a chance here, and now they have a power play. 50-50 puck coming to the wall. Burkhan wins the race.
One of the best penalty kills
great pressure there by Zerilli. We've talked about Zerilli. Hasn't scored his goal yet, but he has played a sensational role on the shutdown line for the Seawolves and on the penalty kill. And here he has got a break here. He's in one-on-one with Burkhan, and Burkhan swipes it away. Overskated there by Kaczynski.
Nice.
He's got a lot of wheels. We saw it there, and Burkhan steps into Zerilli, causes him to stumble. Pepe cuts off this pass to the neutral zone, makes a move, but McEwen tied up his stick before he could get around him. But an offensive zone faceoff for the Stony Brook Seawolves with 1:21 to go into their penalty kill.
And most importantly, opportunity to keep Drexel off the puck. But they're picking up the pace, Drexel is, and with 4:12 left in the period, there's still a lot of time here. They're only down 3. 4-1 to score.
Edwards and DePalma here as the forward unit on the kill. Castura under heavy pressure there along the wall. Edwards forcing another turnover. Lim will have to clean it up. Urbani, head fake on Edwards, over to Lim. Lim over the line. Sambuco. Over to Castura, back to Sambuco. Pepe watches him. McKinley up the wall for Castura. This one comes to Urbani. Played it again for Castura, and everything along the wall. Here's Lim. Slap shot. Oh, the tip by McKinley is stopped by Kazakov. Lim again. Head fakes. Gets away from DePalma. Tried for the backdoor feed for Sambuco. Didn't get there. Urbani. Over to Lim again. Back again for Sambuco, and he tripped over the puck. Shoveling this one out is McDermott. Over to Lim. Sambuco. Dropped off for Castura. That shot is blocked. Stunned McDermott for a moment. Final 10 to go on the power play. Sambuco over to Lim. Urbani shot blocked by Pepe. Held for a moment by DePalma. Can't get it out. That shot tipped aside by Pepe. Here's McKinley. Long shot from Urbani doesn't find its way off the glass. DePalma, short pass to Edwards. And Stony Brook with another kill. They are 3 for 3 on the night now. Urbani from behind his own net, up the middle. Through the neutral zone, McEwen battling with Pepe for it. McEwen forced to turn back, plays it into an area for Tyler Black. Skates in, into the skates of DiCarlo, and Pepe boxes him out, keeps him right off the puck. Nicely done. Here's Slevin. Slevin in. Cuts through a defender, puts it between his legs, but pushed it too far in front of him. Mulata, shot tipped by Slevin wide. Floated all the way out, heaved down, and this one will be another icing with 1:53 to go.
Drexel had been really taking it to the Seawolves on that last power play. The only problem is that every time they get set up for a chance, the puck is either behind, a little bit too far ahead, but not where it needs to be. It's almost like they know what to do, but the execution isn't there.
Mancini at the line, his shots blocked by Sprung. Sprung slipped in behind the D. The pass never got there. Mancini with a poke check at the line. He comes in 4-on-3 for the Stony Brook Seawolves. Closed off by Tyler Black, though negating any odd man rush for the guys in red. Curled back behind his own net by McEwen. Up the wall, Sprung took a little too long with it, but Slevin didn't realize he blocked that one down. So here's Urbani curling away from Slevin. Gets it out, and here is a one-on-one here between Sprung and Mancini. Maracek comes back to help out the numbers for the Seawolves. This one played to Lawson. He's got Mancini breaking. The pass is blocked. Another drop pass for Pomiak, who scores!
Perfectly executed drop pass in the left circle. And he was able to sneak it past O'Toole. 5-1. Final minute of the second period. And just when you thought Drexel was coming up for air, the Seawolves stick a needle in it.
And Lawson, he missed that first centering feed to Mancini. And he said, why not drop it? And Palmiak scores another one. He's had a great season so far, has Philip Palmiak. Like we said, his career high before this season is 5 points. That was his 10th of the season, his 4th goal. So a hot stick for Philip Palmiak. Not playing with his usual line mates there. He's played with Slevin and Peck all game so far and for the last few weeks. Those three played for the Junior Islanders of the USPHL, and they were the top 3 leading scorers for that team. So why not reunite that chemistry as Ortiz comes in for Drexel and floats a wrist shot that's handled easily by Matvei Kazakov.
Down to 30 seconds.
Shots.
But again, Kazakov hanging out in back and there when you need him.
As always, face-off won by Zerilli. Played behind the net for Malfetto. Up for Lawson. Clean breakout for the Seawolves. Behind is Cooper. Curls in. Cuts back on. Urbani behind the net. Zerilli behind the net. Tries to feed it out in front. It's cut off by Tyler Black. Feed for Emma Lindvall. Creates an exit. DiStefano misses his hit, creates an odd man rush, but a good stick by Malfetto stops any danger. And we have a whistle here for the end of the period. That'll do it for the second period here at the RINX. The score is 5-1 Seawolves.
You did see a different second period. You did see Drexel step it up, get on the board, and the effort was definitely there. No doubt about it. The only problem is the Seawolves still have the skills. And Drexel is a little bit lacking. And you can tell because when they were setting up opportunities, they were just not able to finish. And that's just, again, talent, practice, execution. Call it what you will. But that's really the difference between a team like Stony Brook and a team like Drexel. The fact is that Stony Brook, when they do something, they can do it better than a lot of other teams. Sometimes you don't have to fool the person. You just have to do the old stuff better. And that's one thing the Seawolves are pretty good at. And the result is a 5-1 lead after 2.
And it was no more evident, is what you were saying, than on that Drexel power play. They had the possession they needed to. They had the shots they needed to, but they didn't have the finish. We saw Eugene Lim kind of run the power play there. Puck has dropped for the third period. It'll start off with Brendan Pepe, who kicked off the scoring for the Stony Brook Seawolves in the first period. Gideon Cooper plays this one out for Scott Lawson. Scott Lawson over the line, plays it to himself, steers one on goal that's covered by Brian O'Toole.
And there you go. Right off the puck drop, the Seawolves back in business. Not getting caught flat-footed. That first 3 minutes, long behind them.
And here's another face-off coming off, another face-off win and shot, but this is the game plan for the Stony Brook. Get it in, force a face-off. They've been winning face-offs all night and set up off the draw. They get the shot from the point. They crash the net. And why stop what's working? Cleared up the middle.
Especially when they're turning the puck over in their own zone.
Lawson on the neutral zone turnover. He gave it right back to Drexel, gave it to McEwen. D-to-D, McDermott to Pepe. Pepe hits the red and dumps it in. Lawson chasing it down. Cooper watches. Nearly stole that one. Got to Sambuco, and DiStefano runs right into him. And a long stretch pass by Pepe fails to reach Cooper. And Pepe throws his head back. He just missed it. He gives himself a little tap. Said that one was on me.
That icing call you just saw is that will be the first time, and we're barely a minute in, that Drexel is going to cross Stony Brook's blue line.
And they're not going to win the faceoff either, so we're going to come right back out. We have a cross check here. This one will be against Stony Brook.
Pepe, is he going in? Yes, he is.
Pepe to the box on the cross check right off the draw. Early power play for Drexel. This is sort of a do or die moment for them, isn't it, Matt?
Yeah. They really need a goal here. 18:57 left, but they've got a long uphill battle.
Gloved by Sambuco, kept it in. Over for McEwen. McEwen over to Ortiz, and a stick was lifted by Durilli. Great play.
They had him dead to rights there.
McEwen again.
Drexel had a very nice play set up.
Cross for Burkon over the line slowly. Middle for Black. Left circle for McEwen. Back to Black at the top of the circle. Across, sniffed out by Nick Zerilli. Great poke check by him. Gets a couple of taps on the bench for that one.
Puck went out of play, but he stopped everything. Minute 22 left in the power play now.
Not much progress being made by Drexel here. Face-off won by Stony Brook, curling back as Malfetto off the glass and out of the zone. O'Toole pushes it ahead for Burkon, who will slow things down for the Dragons. Tyler Black. High rising pass. Just out of the reach for Kozycki, but he's got those wheels. Curls around. Back out to the top of the line. Burkon, left side. Across blue line for Tyler Black. Comes right back to him. And that pass just in front of Brent Burkon. Burkon tried the lacrosse move. He tried to pick it up, lost it immediately. But an A+ for effort there by Burkon.
I don't know what his background is, but the only guy I've ever seen do that consistently is John Tavares, and he played lacrosse. And, of course, his uncle is one of the best lacrosse players ever.
We've seen Andrei Svechnikov score it a few times in the NHL. Seen Philip Forsberg score it. We've seen Trevor Zegras try it, but very few have tried it successfully, and we can add Ben Burkon to that list. This one cleared out of the zone by the Seawolves with 25 to go in the Drexel power play. Up the middle, McGinley tries to cut in, shielded away from the net by Mancini. Lim along the wall. McGinley, far side for Castura. Line for Urbani. Back to Urbani from Castura. Lim. Back to Urbani, and he couldn't handle the pass, and that'll do it for the Stony Brook penalty kill. And they have a clean slate on the night.
I'll tell you something. It really was more of a conventional penalty kill for the Seawolves. A couple of them, most of the action was in the neutral zone. This time, Drexel kept it in the Stony Brook zone, just couldn't do anything.
McDermott, neutral zone pass to Jesse Edwards. Good move at the line. Gets it to Pomiak, and a great backhand try by him is stopped by O'Toole. Peck pressured at the line. Sambuco and Castura coming in. Castura, shot, stick save. Matvei Kazakov.
I'll tell you again, that's why I don't blame O'Toole for this. He has played well. He has stared down some one-on-ones, two-on-ones, and he has 34 saves on the night. He's let 5 in.
Malata's shot there is sticked, deflected by Brian O'Toole out of the zone. Brian O'Toole has been very solid for Drexel this season as an .894 save percentage. Nothing to write home about, but he faces a ton of shots per game, and a lot of them are of very high difficulty, as we have seen tonight. Boasts a record of 3-3-1 in his 7 games played. For the D2 squad, which he played with in his first year. He had a .943 save percentage with an 1.86 goals against average. He was a two-time goalie of the week in the EHL Premier with the Boston Junior Rangers. So good numbers in the past for Brian O'Toole. He's a very good goalie. Doesn't get a ton of help always from his defense.
Earned a promotion, though.
That he did. Slevin forced to cut back in his own end. A few times he has to. He'll work with speed, and he nearly turned that over to Kyle Fiore, who was putting on pressure.
I can name a few players who have done something with that. But that's, again, the thing. Opportunities are there, but when you get the puck, what do you do with it? And do you have the skill to do something with it?
And there are not many options when you're playing against the goalie, like Matvei Kazakov. Malata plays this one to Pepe. Cuts back, gives it back to Malata. Over to Palmiak, along the wall. Kendrick leaves it for Palmiak, who was coming in with a lot of speed, muscled off the puck by Burkon. Played ahead. Cut off by DiStefano. Handles the forward check of Sprung well. Loses it to McEwen, though. And a great breakup by Malata, who gets crushed by Ian Hoover. Back the other way, it's a 3-on-1. Kendrick has it. Backdoor for De Palma, and it missed a stick. DiStefano. And he crushes Chris DiCarlo, and these two are going to go into it. Chris DiCarlo went in for the hit, and DiStefano took him down, and he waves to him as he hits the deck there.
Oh, they're getting a little chippy. And this seems to happen a lot here at the rinks because of the way the Seawolves have been winning these games. They jump out to a big lead, and the other side gets a little frustrated, and you see what you just saw.
And it's again Chris DiCarlo in the middle of it. And we see Ian Hoover in the box again for Drexel, who had a big hit earlier in the game, which sent him to the box. That was on Thomas Liebold in front of Brian O'Toole. And DiStefano still getting into it with the Drexel bench. But he doesn't mind. Stony Brook to the power play with 14:19 to go. They are expanding on that shot lead. At one point, it was 9. In fact, at one point, Drexel led, but that was over 40 minutes ago. Malfetto to the line for DiStefano. Boy, he would love to score right now. I bet he'd have a few words for that Drexel bench as he rips a shot off. That's blocked by Eugene Lim.
You read his mind perfectly. Right when you said that, he took the shot.
Face-off won by Edwards. Said that quite a few times tonight. DiStefano plays it back for Malfetto. Top of the right circle, into the left circle for Palmiak. DiStefano over for Malfetto! What a shot! Popped the bottle! And it was a bullet from Malfetto on the power play.
That's the way you tell it went in. He actually got it underneath the crossbar. As you said, popped the bottle. The water bottle knocked it off the top of the net.
I wasn't sure if that one clipped it and didn't go in, but that water bottle lid came off. Water was spilling everywhere, and Malfetto scores a power play goal off the one-timer from DiStefano, and I'm sure DiStefano got a few chirps in.
6-1 now, the lead. And we got 13:45 left. And the Seawolves in control once again.
That one tipped and then deposited out in front. It's another one for the Stony Brook Seawolves. That time, Thomas Liebold.
Right place, right time.
Liebold had
and
not
now it's
scored.
getting ugly.
Liebold had not scored since we last called the game together against Davenport. And he's got another one now. He was a champion in the EHL with the Boston Junior Rangers. That's just his second goal in the entire ACHA. He's a freshman from Glenmont, New York. He was the Times Union 2018 Athlete of the Year for Bethlehem Central High School, where he had 32 goals and 19 assists in just 20 games played for his senior year. He was the first 8th grader to make the varsity team. Second ACHA goal. Right place, right time, like you said, for Thomas Liebold.
That's one thing you do in the public school system. You can still be in junior high and make the high school team.
Ended up winning 2 championships with Bethlehem Central High School before he won that Athlete of the Year title with his senior year, where he was 12 goals over goal per game.
So you have to wonder if he had to tuck his jersey into his pants just like Gretzky did.
Here comes Edwards over the blue line. His shot is blocked by Coleman, but there was a whistle for offside.
So that is the reason why Gretzky did that. Because when he was younger, he was skating against guys way bigger than he was, and the only jerseys they had were way too big for him, so he had to tuck it in, keep from dragging.
Well, for much of his career, he was an undersized guy, and
yeah,
you've heard the quotes that nobody ever took a run at Gretzky because nobody wanted to be the guy that injured Gretzky.
Except Darius Kasparaitis.
The prior goal was scored by Dominic Malfetto on the power play, the bottle popper. That's his 4th of the season. Another guy who was over a goal per game in his senior year of high school. Power play here for Drexel. Looked like that behind the play scrum resulted in a penalty just for Stony Brook. Pulled out off the wall by Sambuco. Urbani with a shot tipped into the crease. Back out for Sambuco, and a sliding block by DiStefano takes care of that one. Here's Urbani over for Sambuco. That one sails high. Eugene Lim coming down on that one. Can't get it. Neither can the tip of Urbani. Clear down, 1:24 to go. In the Drexel power play, turned over by Urbani. Lofted in by Zerilli. Ooh, and a big hit by Nick Zerilli as Nick Urbani tried to carry it right through him. Couldn't do it. What a night Zerilli has had on this penalty kill.
Keep your head up in the open ice.
There he is again, lending a shoulder to Patrick McGinley, which nullified his progress through the zone. He manages to knock this one down along the wall. Behind the net, it's Castura. Out for Lim, lone goal scorer this game for the Drexel Dragons. Castura played it back out for Lim, all the way across. Urbani, top of the circle, back for Castura, took too long. Matvey Kazakov got right over.
Again, the execution. The problem is that you have the play, you're doing it the way you should, but you may not be doing it fast enough. You may not be as precise as you need to be. And that's stuff that you got to work through with practice and with player development.
Would have helped if Castura was a righty on that left side, but nonetheless, Matvey Kazakov got over there awfully fast to take away any danger. Final 15 on the Drexel power play here. Played up the wall by McEwen to Burkhan. Burkhan floats this one and is tipped out in front by Ortiz, but away from Kazakov. Ortiz lost this one off a skate block by Pepe. Chipped all the way around, kept in the zone narrowly by Burkhan, and his distance shot from the left circle is gloved by Kazakov.
I mean, beating Kazakov one-on-one is difficult enough, but a guy with quicker hands might have scored on that play. Maybe I'm expecting too much from Drexel, but...
Any shot from distance, Matvey Kazakov has a very good chance on as long as he's seeing it. This one chased down behind the net. Power play over for the Drexel Dragons. Kendrick and Pepe in there along with Jared Ortiz. Pepe, good stick to get this one out. McDermott has to play it from his own end. He's knocked down by Ortiz. Potential break here. Ortiz in, tries to force it through the crease, took too long, and Pepe dropped down to block that one. Coleman's shot blocked again by Pepe. He's doing it all tonight. Backdoor passes broken up by Gideon Cooper, and he holds up on the hit as he saw the much smaller Fiore had his back turned. Sportsmanlike play there by Gideon Cooper. Along the wall, there's Edwards, turned it over. Kendrick takes a good hold there. Burkon forces the turnover. Here is Cooper. He's got Kendrick breaking. You know he's going to try to pass it, and he does. And it's a sliding pad stop by O'Toole. Cooper always seems to connect on those passes.
The Seawolves weren't doing on the other end most of the night because they didn't really have to, but they started to. Start knocking people away from the front of the net.
Here's Slevin. His Whistler misses the right post narrowly. Palmiak is crunched there by Coleman. Malata's shot pad stop. There's Palmiak again. Tried to center it to Slevin. Didn't get there. Malota plays it at the line. Knocked down by Peck. And a potential breakaway feed to Castura is blocked by Malata. Peck. Stutter step. All the way across for Palmiak from Slevin. Mancini with the shot. Shouldered and held by Brian O'Toole. 9:07 to go in this second period. Stony Brook ever expanding on that shot lead. It is now 46-29. It was once only a few, and now we are well into the double digits, approaching 20.
You know, Mancini has been working hard all night long for that chance. And I'd like to see him get it because he will have earned it.
There's Kendrick off the dot, shoveling one on net, handled by Brian O'Toole. Mancini attempted the pinch, couldn't get it though. Here's Kyle DePalma dropping off for Malata. Turned over just outside the zone for Kyle Fiore.
I believe that's going to be offsides.
Yep.
Because what happened was he had another guy ahead of him on the blue line when he got the puck. So the face-off will take place right in front of us.
Won by Zerilli. He's flanked by Kendrick and DePalma. DePalma scored the second one of the night. As Zerilli shrugs off a hit there by Sprung. Kendrick tripped up, and he's slow to get up. In the defensive zone for the Stony Brook Seawolves, here's Urbani. Curls a pass all the way across. We have a delayed penalty here coming against the Seawolves. Going to be a trip most likely for what we saw in the neutral zone. Kyle Fiore up the middle.
They pulled the goalie too.
Black drops it off for Urbani. Urbani over the line. Tries to make a move around Ralfetto. Centers it to nobody in particular, and it's cleaned up by Malata, as we will see another Seawolves penalty kill.
And with the score 7-1, even if they did give up a power play goal here, it would be the end of a streak, not much else. 8:03 remaining, and the Seawolves have been in control of this game probably at the 3-0 point in the first period. Drexel really has not threatened at all.
DiStefano won the foot race. He'll just skate this one into the offensive zone. It's picked off by Lim. 2-on-1 here, Castura and Sambuco. Castura in, that one, blocker side high. Castura missed it.
Why didn't he pass?
Looked like he knew where he wanted to go from the start.
He's looking right at you. Pass. He left the side of the net open. He can do that because you're not challenging him.
Urbani, neutral zone feed for Sambuco, back to Urbani. Urbani over the line, cross for Lim. Lim on the right side this time. Here's Sambuco. Castura, left circle, centering feed, sniffed out by Dempsey. Still maintaining possession is Drexel. Urbani cuts in a little bit. Centering for Kastura. That shot squeezed by Matvey Kazakov. And we'll have a whistle.
Kazakov has not seen too many difficult shots. And the net result of it is he's only allowed one in. But as great as Kazakov has been for the Seawolves, Drexel really hasn't tried. I mean, yes, there was one stretch where they were just flinging pucks at him. There's no question about that. But he's leaving the net open, and Drexel either doesn't have anybody there, or they flub the pass or do something wrong.
Under 40 to go on their power play. Slap shot by Lim. Never got on goal. Pepe. Good heads-up feed to Connor Dempsey to clear that one down. Dempsey will have a run on this one. Takes an elbow up high. And they might have called that. McGinley with the elbow, and he's going to go. Yup, they called that one. Seeming like an unnecessary play away from the puck. Another one of those frustration penalties you mentioned, Matt.
At this point, it's 7-1 with 6:22 remaining. But there's 20 seconds left on the Seawolves penalty, and of course, a fresh 2 minutes. So the Seawolves will have 1:40 man up, but we'll have 4-on-4 for 20 seconds.
And we know if they win this draw, the way they'll play that 4-on-4, the open space certainly benefits the Seawolves, and they won it too cleanly, though, as Slevin's faceoff win whistled by the stick of Andrew Mancini. Pepe will charge this one out. Dropped off for Chucky Peck. Peck dropped off for Mancini, holding behind the net, waiting for that extra man, and here he comes. It'll be Gideon Cooper. Gets this one from Slevin. Cooper, near wall, behind the net, muscles off Coleman. Out to the point for Mancini. Back to Peck, left circle. Mancini again, right circle for Slevin. Slevin holding, waiting, twirling. Off the wall, Mancini. Crossing paths with Slevin. Now at the left circle. Peck at the right circle. Bumper, great save by O'Toole on Pepe. Peck, loving that bumper pass to Pepe. Pepe scores! Right out in front, came right to him, under the bar. And Pepe, he got his even strength goal. Why not add a power play one to that tally?
Hey, complete it with a shorty. Go for the cycle. But with 5:21 remaining here, he does what people pay to see. Brendan Pepe score a power play goal. What is that, number 9 for him now?
They love him here. That'll be number 9 on the season for Brendan Pepe. 8th power play goal. It will not be his 4th game winning goal, as his first goal was nullified by the Eugene Lim tally in the second period. But he does lead this team in game winning goals. Here's the really nice move around Carver in the neutral zone. Palmer with support along the wall. Zarrilli around the net, looking for that first goal, but it's swallowed up by O'Toole.
They scored 17 goals in 2 nights against Syracuse. They just scored 8 tonight, and we still have a little less than 5 minutes left, 4:56 to be exact. And yet, if you take a look, as we said before, at the national statistics in the ACHA, you won't find any Seawolves up at the top. They don't ride 1 or 2 people. Matter of fact, Charles Peck, their top scorer, really has been pretty quiet tonight.
That entire top line, save for Philip Palmiak, who scored a goal when he wasn't with those line mates tonight. It just goes to show that even when those guys aren't producing, the team is still producing. Got a few goals from defenders tonight, obviously. Malfetto got one. Pepe with 2. One-timer for Marachik. That one kisses across the crease. Never got there, though. Marachik over for Kendrick. Pass was a little bit too hard for him. Behind the net, it's picked up by Malfetto. Under pressure, so he whips it to the Palma. Soft pass for Dempsey. Was in his skates. Comes right back for Marachik through the neutral zone. Hits the red, dumps it in. With 3:50 to go, it'll be a pretty fundamental game for Stony Brook from here on out. Stretch feed. Cannot be corralled by McGinley from the D zone. Mancini under pressure from McGinley. Gave it up. There's Castura behind the net. McGinley out in front. They score! That's Ryan Sambuco. It's the forecheck of Castura and McGinley. And Sambuco right on the spot.
Makes it 8-2. And again, a goal that they should convert on right at the doorstep. And kind of caught Kozkov by surprise, but nothing to worry about. Not yet, anyway. And this team is not capable of going on a big run. Seawolves, on the other hand, are.
Talked about Sambuco last period, won the Flyers Cup in Pennsylvania. That one tipped by Slevin into the glove into O'Toole. That'll be Sambuco's 5th goal of the year. 18-year-old, one of the youngest players on the ice tonight. One of the only other 18-year-olds is Sean Kendrick. Sean Kendrick was actually teammates on the Long Island Royals with another Drexel Dragon, Zachary Sprung. Sprung was 3rd on the team in points. Kendrick was 1st on the team in points. Those two won a championship together with the Long Island Royals.
I remember they did a documentary series on them because Pat LaFontaine was running the team.
The Royals are one of the premier hockey teams on Long Island alongside the Gulls, the Arrows, and a few other teams. Pepe, skate to stick, right circle for McDermott. He's got a laser, and his one just misses the top of the net, not by much. Urbani behind his own net.
One interesting thing about Islanders alumni, so many of them stay on Long Island even if they didn't come from here originally.
See a lot of players speak about what kind of homey feel it has as Peck will deposit that one. Another tap in for the Stony Brook Seawolves.
Must have overheard me. I said that he's been pretty quiet tonight. Okay, Matt. I'll put one in for you. 9-2 with 2:07 remaining.
That'll be Peck's 11th of the year as he continues to lead this team in points and goals. So another one for Chucky Peck. Lawson cutting back with this one, turned it over to Sambuco at the line. Here comes Edwards. Lost that one. Played it up. Mancini in the neutral zone. Brett Coleman has it now. Chips it in. Mulata under pressure by him. Mancini tries to D-to-D it to Mulata. It's swiped away. Mulata plays it though. Up for Lawson. Here comes Lawson through the neutral zone. Back across. The centering feed is tipped aside by Emma Lindvall. Behind the net, Coleman and Edwards fight after it. Here's Cooper, plays it out for Lawson. Cooper ends up blocking the Lawson shot. Mancini's shot is gloved by O'Toole.
Nice
Looks like
there.
he tracked that one at the last second.
Well, actually, they have a couple of good defensemen in front of him. Put a few more people in front of him, and he could definitely be part of this team's turnaround. As we said, they're not used to this. They used to being among the more competitive teams in the ACHA. They're having a down year so far. But he could really be part of the comeback.
And it's an adjustment period for them. They are in a much tougher division than they have been since their D1 start. They won 7 titles within the ECHA, but running into some more difficult teams here in the ESCHL.
really a transition year for them. But they're getting a taste of, and look, even with us, we're used to watching NHL, and even we're surprised at the quality of play in the ACHA when you start watching them regularly.
That backdoor feed from Mancini to Kendrick is sniffed out by Jared Ortiz, who plays it up. Fiore didn't see his pass. Mulata did. He'll play it back for Mancini. Final 30 of the period. Mancini cross paths with De Palma, nearly gave the puck away as a result. De Palma with a heads-up play to play it back for Ryan Mulata. This one corralled by Fiore. Shot by Carver's blocked. Fiore in the neutral zone. Ortiz nearly had a tap in. Kazakov with a great save. Under 10 to go in the period. Why not one more highlight reel save for Matvei Kazakov? Cleared all the way down. We'll have an icing with 2.2 to go. Always a good chance to pad the stats
on this one. But I'll wait for the last 2.2 to elapse before I say anything else.
And that'll do it.
There we go.
Stony Brook Seawolves take care of business against the Drexel Dragons. They put up a 9 spot. Back-to-back games with 9 goals for the Stony Brook Seawolves, picking up right where they left off with a big offensive game. They swept Syracuse last week. They will face Drexel tomorrow looking for that sweep, but they take game 1, 9-2.
Okay, so now we get to see, first of all, what Drexel does on its home ice. Now that they've seen what the Seawolves are capable of, but the other thing that we've noticed is that right now, Drexel and Syracuse are the bottom 2 teams in the Seawolves division. And the Seawolves not only handled them so far, they've handled them extremely well. They are padding offensive totals like you wouldn't believe. 9-2 the final in this one. 56 shots on goal for the Seawolves. 34, which is also a pretty fair number, considering the Seawolves generally don't give up that many shots for Drexel. So given that Drexel can look back at a couple of nice goals, but again, a team in transition, a team learning how to play basically at this level. Of course, that's the Seawolves banging their sticks as a thank you to the fans, as they customarily do. Just like the Rangers raise their sticks in the middle of the ice at the Garden. So, Seawolves continue their winning ways, which is always fun to call here at the RINX in Hauppauge and fun to watch. And they go into the Thanksgiving holiday celebrating. But not yet. One more game.
One more to go. But this is the last home game for 2021, and Stony Brook ends it with a bang. With that 9-goal total, that'll bring up their goals for on the season to 75 in 15 games, which means they're averaging 5 goals per game, which is pretty ridiculous numbers offensively. Put up 56 shots on goal tonight as well.
56 shots, no matter when you do that, is quite an achievement. And it just shows you, except for those first 3 minutes of the first period, that the Seawolves basically owned this game. It was all Seawolves end-to-end, and even after one period where you felt that, I don't know, Drexel was only 3 down, they were at the 4-1.2 as well. They got on the board, might be able to make a game of this. Seawolves basically laughed at that and just kept on going and kept pouring it on.
Aside from those first few minutes, it was all Stony Brook Seawolves hockey. They played the speed game. Drexel tried to match, and they got burned. But for Drexel, hopefully some learning experiences as they go through these growing pains of being in a tougher division. Like we said, they had 4 losses last year. 2 of them were handed to them by the Stony Brook Seawolves. So Drexel's revenge plan, not quite carried out yet. They'll have a chance tomorrow in Philadelphia. The Stony Brook team will be traveling out there at around 1 o'clock tomorrow, hopefully to sweep the Drexel Dragons and enter the Thanksgiving vacation with a very nice 13-2-1 record, well on their way to a Nationals playoff position for the ACHA.